I'm a 35-year-old white man. Well, I've always felt different. I go to the store, the movies, and just be thinking to myself, like, why am I not getting the respect I deserve? And then it just hit me. I'm white.
Hello everybody. Welcome once again to our channel. Now, today I came across a certain clip here that is very interesting. A young school-going black man is 100% convinced that he is white. The young man is convinced that he is a white man and he is 35 years old. And he is also working an assistant engineer at Coca-Cola. I asked myself, who could be wrong with this boy? Because when her mother is asked what's going on with him, the mother says, this boy just came up one day and started claiming that he's a white man. Take a listen to how this young man expresses himself.
I'm a 35-year-old white man.
Harrison, born Antoine Smalls, has transracial identity, identifying as Harrison Booth, a 35-year-old white man from Colorado. And when did you know that you were a 35-year-old white man?
Well, I've always felt different. I go to the store, the movies, and just be thinking to myself, like, why am I not getting the respect I deserve? And then it just hit me. I'm white and 35. I just miss Colorado sometimes. You know, here I pretend the buildings are the old San Juan mountain range, but, you know, the job's just here.
And where do you work?
I'm a systems engineer for Coca-Cola.
Oh, okay.
That boy don't work. He go to school and that's it. One day he said, call me Harrison. I said, who's that? He said, me.
Do you believe that he is a white man?
I mean, he isn't. Shit, I'd love to wake up one day and say, hey, everybody, I'm Rihanna. But I ain't.
It's been pretty hard. My family just doesn't get it. You know, I try to get them to go out with me, go on walks, go to the farmer's market, chat with people, but yeah.
So why don't you think that they get it?
I don't think they get it because they don't realize that race is just a made-up thing. They grew up having labels, and me, I'm just not like that.
I see. So how do you embrace your identity?
I dress a certain way, Patagonia. I wear a thick brown leather belt. I like to envision myself after the surgery.
Hey, excuse me, what IPA do you have on tap? Hey, did you see Game of Thrones last night? Yeah.
So your surgery, that's later this year.
Right. I started working at Stonecrest Mall, so hopefully by then I have enough money to take the next step.
So you work at Coca-Cola and the mall?
Right. Correct. I work at both.
Harrison has been planning a full racial transition with the Dr. Samuel Vergara, who guarantees Harrison can visually transition through an experimental procedure that will allow Harrison to not only be a white man, but whatever race he chooses.
The procedure's absolutely 100% possible. He's gonna look weird, though.
But before Harrison can fully realize his physical identity, he still has the day-to-day that's filled with discrimination and ridicule.
It's pretty awful. You know, you walk in the streets and black people, they see you, they're nodding to you like, hey, good to see us. And it's to the point where I've just given up. I've stopped trying to convince them that I'm not us.
Gotcha.
Hey, excuse me, this is definitely the guy. He doesn't even live in the area. I've never seen him before. I think we're taking slow strides, but you have to believe things are getting better. Otherwise, you'll just die inside.
Is there anything you'd like to say to other black kids out there who may be going through the same thing?
Just be you at all costs, but also stop dressing so crazy.
If you listen to the mother, she's kind of confused what's going on with her son's mind, because she says her son is going to school and her son is not working anywhere, but the son is convinced he's working. He's an assistant engineer at Coca-Cola. He does not accept to be called by the name that the mother gave him, but he identifies himself as Harrison Booth, a 35-year-old white man. What's your opinion on this? What could be wrong with this guy? Because from how I look at him, I see a black young man. I don't know what you see from your end, because to me it seems like the guy is having some self-realization that is beyond our understanding. But I asked one of my friends, what could be wrong with this guy? Because if you look at him, if you look at everything, if you look at the parent, he's a black young man. But then there are two issues that this guy highlighted for me. One is that there is this question about reincarnation. And he was kind of believing that this guy is a reincarnated version of Harrison Booth, who was working as a systems engineer at Coca-Cola some time back. So what he was kind of telling me is that if it could be investigated and then the parents or anybody gets to understand whether at Coca-Cola there was anybody by the name Harrison Booth who was 35 years old and was working as an assistant engineer at Coca-Cola, that would really help to understand whether this is truly a reincarnated version of the guy who lived before. Then again, the second question that I was told is that this guy could be having some mental issues, and therefore that is why he is not able to identify himself as he's supposed to. So those are some of the ideas that were pushed for me, and I kind of bought them because when it comes to the issue about reincarnation, there has been many people talking about children who are talking about experiences that no one else could imagine a small child could know. Someone can even talk about history. These issues have been there, the reincarnated version of people. So it's like this person reincarnated and came back in the spirit and in the body of a black man. This young boy who is going to school and plays video games and is something. The only area that is quite of entertaining to me is that he says that he goes to people and wonders why he is not respected, because he looks at other people and it just clicked on him that he's a white man, and that is why he's not receiving the kind of respect that he's supposed to receive. So I don't know what you think about this issue. There have been many instances where young African Americans try to deny their skin color and they try to deny their race. They feel like they are white and they are not black. And as it were, you know that black has been stigmatized and people have been told that black is bad, black is something that is wrong, and therefore many people do not want to associate themselves with being black. This is something that is also driving many young people to be against black race. But then as Africans, or even African Americans for that matter, we must be ready to embrace our diversity, because in diversity there is some joy in it. Because if you look at Africans, the kind of genetic makeup that we have truly makes us be superior to other races that are there. Africans are the only race that can survive in harsh conditions without even any challenge. That is why no matter how hard the white man has tried to ensure that we are vanquished out of this continent or even out of this world, we continue to multiply and we continue to be many. And that is why you also realize in United States, many people are afraid that if the white men are not careful, the black race will take over that population. And that is why you find that even separation in voting is evident, and there are people who are concerned that America is going to be taken over by the black race, and therefore they must find a way of eliminating them. This is why the disparities of health exist. Blacks are allowed to live in the inner cities where they can put industries close to their residential areas, and they end up suffering these kind of challenges that come with staying close to industries that produce harmful chemicals and pollute the environment. But still, regardless of what is happening, Africans continue to rise and Africa continue to register their presence in the American population. So I don't know what you think about this Harrison guy. Is he really white? Or maybe I'm the one who is not really serious about what I saw. But I believe he's a black young man who is just suffering from lack of self-identity, and it could be reincarnation, or it could be a guy who is just having some mental issues that should be treated, and then he gets to understand himself, or even living in self-denial for that matter. Please remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and also share so that we get to meet and engage a larger community. Thank you. May God bless you. Bye-bye.